Hey guys, it's Leah Virgin, your Christian life coach and author at burstingwithblessings.com. And today is Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. We're so excited to be here. I am so excited to be here with you guys. I have such a treat for us today, you guys. I am so excited to have Tammy come onto this page, and I'm going to start cross-posting it as we speak. As we speak, I am going to be sending this video into my closed community, which is Blessed Christian Life Coaching by Leah. If you want to be in the closed community, which we are getting ready to do an amazing Bible study. I am creating a powerful prayer workbook for every area of life. That means health, finances, marriage, faith, parenting. We are going to have an amazing workbook, prayer workbook. It's in the works. I should be done with it already. My amazing community manager, and she's like, you need to finish this. I'm like, it's gonna be done soon. It's gonna be done soon. But I have written over 8 different books, so I'm used to this. It will be done this weekend, and the bones of it are amazing because God's word is amazing. So I just want to encourage you guys to join into Blessed Christian Life Coaching by Leah. The link for sign up I will put down below. We're also going to put Tammy's information down below because Tammy is coming on because I called her up and I cried to her. Literally cried. Yes, it's true. I admit it. It's all good. It is good because honestly, I'm trying to find the live here, you guys, so I can cross post it. And I'm probably going to have to do it while Tammy talks because I can't do 2 things at once, apparently. What is that? I can't do 2 things at once. I don't know.
Multitasking is a lie.
I know. I can't, right? Can we multitask? Okay, I'm going to put my phone down. So I will talk about that and then I will cross post. So I just feel so like I want people to have this so badly. It's driving me crazy. Normally I'm not this crazy. That's not true. I'm actually this fun all the time. I'm literally trying to get this done right now. Here we go. Okay, we're going to share. We're going to share to our group. There it is. Okay. Publish that. I see if I can share.
Good. We can wait.
We can wait. I know, because this is just too important to me, you guys.
Right.
This is so super important to me. Okay, so I think I did that. So here's the gist, guys. Here's the gist of what happened. First of all, Tammy Brockman is a dietitian and intuitive eating coach, and she's going to talk all about what that means. Tammy and I are in the amazing Ryan Dowdy's coaching program. And so I have had the privilege of seeing her posts for the last, I think we became Facebook friends 4 months ago, maybe more now. And so I've been seeing her empowering posts about diet culture and the damage that it does to women. And her mindset is so different than the worldly mindset, which I love so much because she's about empowering women to know their worth and value outside of just their body. And this past weekend, Tammy and I are in a group where another person posted a post that was really hurtful to a lot of people who struggle with body image, that struggle with dieting, that struggle with weight, and it triggered a lot of women. a lot of women, including myself, were triggered by this post. And let me just tell you that the amazing Michelle Vroom took very good care of her community. And I say her name because I want you guys to know how amazing Michelle is, and her group is amazing.
Yes.
And so I say this with love, that if you are in the entrepreneur space, go and friend Michelle Vroom, be in her community, because she was spot on with her support of all of us who felt triggered. And I am very honest about my past, that I grew up in an extremely broken home. I had an eating disorder in my teenage years. And yes, drop the link to Michelle's group. I will, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie, so much for joining me, girl. You best. And so for me, I've done a lot of self-worth work over the last, really 10 years, about 10 years. So for me, reading this post, and as a nurse, knowing how people struggle with different, health conditions, because we live in a broken, sinful world. You guys know that I believe that. As a Christian life coach, I understand that this is a broken world. We have lots of things that we have to deal with. But, in and of itself, women are not their business card. Okay. Our bodies are not our business card. Our worth is in the being. Just because we have worth. Externally, we have worth. Now, it's okay to, want to take care of yourself and all of that. But what I want for women is to be empowered to love themselves in and of themselves, because you are worthy, wonderful, beloved by God has called you that, right? Whether or not you're a Christian or not, you are worthy. Okay. I want to just make sure that's said. I have a lot of non-Christian friends, all different religions. And I believe that women are valuable in and of themselves. Period. We are valuable. We are wonderful. We are smart. We are wise. We are amazing. We create life with God's hand too, right? That's what I believe. And I know that our worth lies internally, that just because we are. And so I called Tammy because I saw her post. She didn't actually see that weekend's post because she was celebrating the marriage of her daughter to her new son-in-law, which is so awesome. But I was able to call and cry to her because her post the next day was so moving and so empowering, that I knew I had to have her on. I knew that God was highlighting her to me. And I'm going to start crying because I don't want women feeling that they have to look a certain way or be a certain way, because that's also a part of racism in our country. And I'm going to talk about it, peeps. I'm going to talk about white privilege, and I'm going to talk about racism. And why do I need to talk about that? Because I have a daughter who's worried about her body and her hair, and the fact that she doesn't feel that she is as valuable as other people. And I know that I have the ability to speak on behalf of others, right? If we have power, we are to use our power and privilege to speak for others. The Lord says, I love justice. I love those who not fast with just words and food, but fast with actions, okay? The Lord wants a contrite heart that looks to speak for those that have no voice. And so I am tired of a world that says we have to be a certain weight or look a certain way. I want heart-healthy women eating healthy food that fuels their body because they know they are worthy of that. And so I know that I took up a large beginning, but I want you guys to hear my heart as a Christian life coach, that is so important. And so I know that Tammy is going to tell us about her past training, because we all are inundated with the worldly ways. We're inundated with worldly messages. We're raised in schools that teach us certain things. I've been taught certain things in nursing school. And, Tammy comes from a dietitian background. And so, Tammy, thank you so, so much for taking time out of your day, time out of your week to talk with me, to work this out, to come on this page. And so tell us how you got your start becoming a dietitian and then shifting into intuitive eating coaching.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad that you took up so much of the beginning and shared all of that, because you shared that with me when we talked, and I feel so connected to you because of that, because I know your heart now. And I'm just so grateful for that. I'm so grateful to be here and have the opportunity to just share my story and, in what I want, that post, the comment that I made on Michelle's post, I'm so glad that resonated with you, because, you do this, you talk about just one person, just one heart, and trying to reach just one. And I'm just so glad that I was able to reach even just one person with what I said there. So my background, I've been a dietitian for 24 years. So that means that way back in the mid 90s, I was graduating college, and in a dietetics program that is very, very heavily diet culture based. And it was all about, there were just a couple of tracks you could take. You could go into the clinical world, or you could go into the food service world, basically, of dietetics. And all of that is heavily, heavily diet prescription based. So in hospitals, it's follow this diet, eat this way, very specific about all of that. And nowhere in any of that was intuitive eating present, even though, hindsight has taught me that Evelyn Tribole and Elise Resch, the two dietitians who initially coined the term intuitive eating, first coined this term back in 1995. So my hope is that since I've been in school and, moving forward, that dietetics programs begin to, kind of embrace this whole idea of intuitive eating and start making it a part of the training programs for dietitians that are coming out of school, because they need to know this. They need to understand how simple, I don't want to say easy, but I want to say simple, eating for your health can be. Because really, I've gone through the whole, prior to, let me just take a step back and say, I worked in hospitals and long-term care facilities and food service for the bulk of my career. About 6 years ago, I stepped away from working outside the home because of personal reasons. Have a son that's on the autism spectrum, lots of behavior challenges we were dealing with, and we just really needed to make changes on the home front. So we did. However, we still have bills to pay, and I want to be a dietitian. I love being a dietitian, and so I started figuring out how I could do that from home, and sort of figured out how to coin myself as the clean eating dietitian. So apologize if that triggers anybody out there, but that's who I was, and this is a part of my past. And I've been asked, oh, you should really go through and clean up your social media history and, try to get rid of all of that. And I just, I prayed on that, and no, I'm not going to get rid of that, because that is a part of my history. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't have this deep gratitude for intuitive eating that I do now because of my past. So I was the dietitian who was telling people, there's good foods to eat and there's bad foods to eat. I was totally moralizing food and kind of moralizing people along with it. I mean, that's what we do when we moralize food and then we ingest it. Now we're moralizing ourselves. We own that, and we become people who, if we eat something that we consider bad or unhealthy, now we're a bad person or an unhealthy person. And I am so grateful now that I'm at where I'm at, that I can begin to help people understand that food is not moral. It is not good and bad. It's not even healthy and unhealthy. It is food that comes into our body, and it helps us. It makes us feel a certain way, and tuning into how that food is making us feel is really where that's at the core of intuitive eating. Intuitive eating kind of gets this rap of, oh, it's just all about eating whatever you want to eat, and that's so not the case. It's so not the case. So it was probably a little over a year and a half ago that I stumbled on a podcast from Christy Harrison. She's an awesome dietitian in the field of intuitive eating, and she has a food psych podcast. I just love it. I still follow it every day, every week, I guess, when she puts something new out. I started learning about intuitive eating, and at first I really bucked it. I was like, nope. I put the hand up and said, how can this person call herself a dietitian? And she's not prescribing something, rigid for people. And however, this has got to be a God wink in my life, because I kept feeling called to continue listening. And so I did. I listened and started, learning more and more about it, and being the good little dietitian that I am. We tend to be science-based people. So I started digging into the science and discovered that the science is all there. There's science behind all of this. It's a scientifically studied and validated framework of learning how to eat for your health. So I guess once I learned all that, I just decided, the draw of, if this really works, oh my goodness, how freeing this could be for my own self, was a big draw that really, really pulled hard on my heartstrings. And I dove into my own intuitive eating journey and struggled quite a bit, learned a ton about myself. And I know you shared about, you have a history of eating disorders. I don't have a history of any kind of diagnosed eating disorder. However, I have a big history of disordered eating behaviors. I would do things like stop at a McDonald's or someplace and get a Coke. And I would, when I got home with that, I would throw it in the garbage and hide it under other garbage so that nobody in my family knew that I had that, because that wasn't the way the clean eating dietitian is supposed to eat. And the guilt and the shame that all came with that, I mean, that was all there. So I definitely discovered and uncovered, disordered eating behaviors of my own, and have worked my way through those. And like I've said, I'm just so grateful to be at the place where I'm at, where I feel my worth in here and don't place it out here anymore. It's not about the shape of my body, the size of my body. It's not about a number on a scale or anything like that. It's about who I am as a person, as a child of God, and what I can do in this world for other women, the value that I can bring to them, help them see their own value. That's what I'm all about now. And I'm extremely grateful for that. So I don't know what more you want me to say about that. Do you want me to go into intuitive eating? What would you like me to do?
Yeah, actually, I love that you gave that one small piece of women are taught that, this is a good food, this is a bad food. This I should feel shame over, and this I can celebrate with others. And, that perspective has done a lot of, damage to women, because we fight so hard the internal battle around eating. Like I found I was putting so much effort and energy and thought into food, or not eating it, or I was also, as a teenager, I was desperate for love. And to me, the culture told me that a skinny girl would be loved.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get women to a point where, skinny doesn't equal love. Skinny doesn't equal good. Down hair doesn't equal good hair, or a good person, or a wanted person. Women feel that they're not wanted or seen or respected. And, while we can't, magically transform the entire world, or the diet eating culture that tells us, cut out every carb that you possibly can, or all of this, I want, I want women to get to, yes, skin doesn't mean good. Thank you, Jackie. That's a great way of putting it. Skin does not equal good. Behavior, our heart, God says that he doesn't look at the outside. He looks at the heart. He judges the heart, not the outside, where, of course, the world judges the outside, and I want us to get to a point where that's, we're part of the ripples. What I found fascinating is that your first instinct was to buck up against what this woman was saying. But there was also a part of you inside that was like, this feels, like something I need to know more about, because I think in our culture, we sway from extreme to extreme, right? I'm just going to eat whatever I want. It doesn't matter. And I'm just going to do whatever because I give up. Yep. Right. And it's like,
That's so diet culture right there.
Yes. Yes. I just give up, or, instead of what I tuned into is that you get people to think about what makes them feel good inside. Yep. Right. What foods make you feel good and fueled? And, and even you told me in our talk that you were like, and sometimes you choose, I know this isn't going to make me feel super good, but I'm going to eat it. Right. But, and that in and of itself, is freeing. I talk a lot about the word intentional. So women are given the, because we haven't had as much of a voice in culture and in life, we tend to be passive aggressive victimization mindset. And so I help a lot of my clients to intentionally say, I choose, I can, and I choose.
Right. And diet culture, if I can interrupt you there. So diet culture will, that it feeds into that whole victim mindset, because it's all external based. So it's eat this particular food at this particular time. Here's your meal plan. Make sure that you weigh it, make sure that you measure it, all of that. And then when that doesn't work, for whatever the goal was that you had for doing that, when that doesn't work, it's you play the victim, because that didn't work, and oh, it didn't work for me, and oh, woe is me, kind of a thing. And it's just all that external. And intuitive eating, takes you inside. It's all based on what is your hunger level. Let's tune into your body and let's figure out, are you even hungry right now? And this really becomes, most people will think, okay, well, it's just all right, eat when you're hungry and then stop when you're full, and that's good. We work through that. We learn what our hunger signals are. We learn what our fullness signals are. But then when you come into I've been restricting and not allowing this food that over here because I have it labeled as bad. And then you get to some big emotional event, some stressful something or other. You lose your job, COVID hits, whatever. And it's, I give up. And you end up in that kind of mindset as well, where you're just like, and then you've been restricting, so now we hit the binge cycle where I'm just going to go overboard, and you just say it's all out the window, so I may as well just completely, throw it out the window and do all the things that I've been telling myself I can't do. And a lot of times that comes under the guise of self-care. I don't know if you've ever told yourself that it's like, well, I deserve this. Because I've been working so hard, or because I'm so upset right now that I deserve to have this. And it's all so external based. And, when you can get rid of all of those rules and restrictions and give yourself unconditional permission to eat, instead of starving yourself, eat enough. And when you can give yourself unconditional permission to love yourself because you deserve it, and you can start tuning into those signals, am I really hungry, or is this a stress reaction? And if it's a stress reaction and my body's not giving me the signals that it's hungry right now, what is it that I really need? And how can I get that need taken care of, because I deserve to have that need taken care of?
Oh, I like
because
that.
I am a child of God, and God wants us to have that. He loves us. He wants us to love us.
Yes.
So,
amen. Because the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. Well, a lot of us shouldn't be loving our neighbor as we love ourselves, right? God wants us to have a good perspective on, loving ourselves, loving the skin that we're in, and, working towards a healthy balance. So tell us about it's 12 pillars, right? Tell us about the
10. Yep.
10. Okay.
Yep.
Tell us about that. How would it kind of look if somebody, which I hope that they do, choose to contact you and work with you?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Yeah. So the 10 pillars of the intuitive eating framework are basically, it walks you from the side of getting rid of the diet mentality, and helping you find all of the nooks and crannies where that diet mentality is hiding, because it will hide. It is evil. It will hide. So, we start off working with that, and we work into tuning into the body. Personally with my clients, I use a lot of mindfulness techniques. And we really focus heavily on getting mindful so that we can kind of slow down, still the waters, and really be able to tune in, because life is somewhat chaotic. Even in COVID times, working from home, if you're a mom who used to go out and work in the workforce, and you had a quiet office that you could work in, and now you're working from home and your kids are home and they're doing their schooling at home too, it can feel like a mess sometimes. So we use some mindfulness techniques to really tune into the hunger and the fullness, and tuning into the emotions, like I had mentioned there. The food police, we talk about that. That's one of the pillars or principles in intuitive eating, and that's so much. There's food police that's out there externally in the world, but there's 90% probably, if I were to just grab a number out of thin air, I would say 90% of our food police come from right in here. It's internalized messages that we've been given our entire lives that we need to also work with. And we do that with kindness. We love ourselves, self-compassion, self-care, all of that. And then it isn't, we talk to body respect is principle number 8. So, this is not about loving your body all the time. Nobody expects you to 100% all the time love your body, love this vessel that you are given to live in. But we're not also meant to hate it or ignore it. So many people will just not even look at themselves in a mirror because they can't stand what they see. And so we work through the process of finding out where you're at in terms of being able to look at your body and appreciate it and all that. And we start with respect. We start with just saying, this is a good thing. It may not look like what you have this idea of in your mind that it's supposed to look like right now. May not ever, but what is it doing for you? What are the good things that your body is doing for you? And so we may have to start with just some small parts of the body. Like, let's start with your arms. What good things have your arms done for you today? And I walk you through that at a pace that meets you where you're at. And then at the end, we save for the end the gentle nutrition and the enjoyable movement principles, because we have to get that whole diet mentality out of the way. You have to know how to tune into your signals and honor those signals really before we can say, okay, so now let's pay attention to really how food is making you feel. How, what are your goals as far as, do you want to feel energized? Do you want to, do you have some health issues that you want to maybe pay closer attention to? Because intuitive eating is not about throwing out all of the health parameters that your doctor has said, you probably should do these kinds of things for your health. It can all work beautifully together. It's meant to work beautifully together. So, we look at the nutrition side of things, getting that balance and getting that variety of foods in there. And then learning more about those signals of, okay, so this is what I've been eating. How is it making me feel? Is it making my body feel energized like I want it to? Or is it making me feel sluggish? And, making your choices accordingly. And knowing, just like you had said, sometimes we do choose to eat foods that we know aren't going to necessarily match up with our goals and values. But that's okay if it's the intention behind it is that I enjoy eating this, and right now I'm going to choose to eat this because I enjoy the taste of it. No judgment. that for me too, that's been professionally as well as personally, but professionally, it's been probably one of the most freeing things, is to work with people on a completely judgment-free basis. I don't have to carry that burden of judging someone else when I work with them through. I'm kind of walking alongside and guiding rather than standing up on some sort of, pulpit dictating out to do this, don't do that. It's not about that. So, yeah. Does that answer that question?
I think so. It gave me a beautiful perspective of the work that you do, the coaching that you do. It's a beautiful plan. And I love the fact that it frees you not to have to micromanage or judge anyone or say, well, why didn't you feel like you could, measure this or do that? And, I want women to be free of that, I want women to feel that, they have the power to choose the food that they eat to fuel their body, not to choose food based on what their body should look like.
God's already given us everything that we need to do this.
Yeah.
We were born knowing this. If you think back to, think about an infant when a baby is hungry, what do? They cry until they're fed. So, toddlers, so many times, how many times, and this is another piece that in my past life, what I would have given for having intuitive eating in my life when I had, 3 toddlers, 3 and under, running. And it was, okay, eat. And the focus is just eat, you're not eating enough and you're not eating the right things. And just, to be able to trust that, that toddler knows if that toddler is hungry or not. And, my job is to put out the variety of foods and let my child make their choices accordingly, trusting the fact that they were also given everything that they need to make those choices. So we have been, intuition. Oh,
I have a mountain biker coming back, but
awesome.
I love that.
We love bikers.
I love that is.
I have a dog.
Oh,
apologies.
That's okay, because one of my Bible studies, my dog decided that he was gonna literally he has joined many of my lives, and so YouTube loves me. My YouTube channel loves when my dog joins in. At least I think they do. I'm just making that up. I just pretend that they do. Anyway. Oh, you guys, Tammy, this has been so amazing and so wonderful because, I love the work that you are doing. I love the coaching that you are doing of women, the empowering, and your posts are so empowering of women to just shift out of that and start to just embrace a different mindset, that we're just here to fuel our bodies and to walk in our gifts and calling, not so focused on the external, but focused on the internal, focused on fueling our dreams and goals, through the abundance of provisions that God has provided us here in American culture. Right. That is just such a different perspective that here we have an abundance of things to choose from. And so I'm going to drop the links to all of you guys can follow Tammy on. I follow her on all the things, but Instagram, she's got a great Instagram. She's got Facebook group. And of course you can friend her and message her. And so, yes, you guys, this was just so great. Thank you guys for those of you that shared time with us today. I know that I can be a little chatty Cathy, but this is so important. And it just, so important, you guys, so important. And it just means so much to me, Tammy, that you took the time to come and to encourage women that there is a different way. There is a different way. We don't need the Duquesne diet. We don't need the all the things, I say Duquesne diet because I literally bought that book and I was like, I should do this 10 years ago. I think I bought that book. When people tell me I can't have something, I'm a really type A, and I was like, no, I'm having that. Anyway.
So I have a rebel personality. They're my favorite.
Yeah. So intuitive eating has, it's interesting. I think that I started cultivating that a while ago and I didn't even know it. Yeah. I'm more exercise and eats a balanced diet, but I love the fact that your coaching can give all of us freedom of mindset. And so if you guys are struggling with any sort of diet culture mentality, eating whatever issue, please reach out to Tammy and even just jump on a call with her. She is so giving, so loving, so amazing. Let me boohoo all over her because I hate to see women hurt. I hate to see women hurting. And there were so many women hurting that weekend and so many triggered women. And so we need you, Tammy. We need you. God has anointed you to be the freedom that women need. And so, all right, you guys. So follow her, get in Blessed Christian Life Coaching by Leah. We have our upcoming upcoming prayer workbook challenge coming up this week. We are going to be praying over all the pillars of our life. And Tammy's actually going to be helping those who come into my How to Believe You Are a Woman of Worth coaching Bible study. I'm so excited because we are going to know our worth deep inside. We are going to know how worthy and wonderful we are inside because we are a child of God. We don't need the external, and that's going to fuel us to walk out our dreams and calling every single day. And so please feel free to message either of us any questions, any thoughts, share your ahas. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the daily devotional tomorrow. We'll also have a biblical vision board workshop tomorrow in the group. You guys, going to be so great. We are going to make 2021 an amazing year. The big C is not stopping us. It's fueling our transformation and change. Thank you, Big C. Bye, guys.